Hey there. 7 years ago, I had a major problem in my painting practice. I didn't have time to practice painting, mainly because at that point, my role as a college art professor had changed. I'd become more involved in administration, which meant I just didn't have time to continue the regular routine that I was used to using. I wasn't able to get down here into my studio every day for the usual 4 hours a day. That was part of my regular routine and had been for decades. When that happened, I got super frustrated. And it wasn't until I created a new routine that I got my mojo back. So if any of y'all ever lost your painting mojo, it's not a comfortable spot to be. Usually when that happens, it's because your routine has been interrupted. So in today's episode, we're going to talk about how you can use routines to kickstart your painting habit, to really set it in motion so you create that channel or groove that we've been talking about all week that make it easier to get down to painting and painting in flow. So, reminder of what we talked about yesterday, which was about cues. Those are mental triggers that help you set up and create a routine or a new habit. So the 3 types of cues that we talked about were first, space and place, and that's having a regular space that you go into that separates the everyday world from your painting world. And it doesn't have to be a studio that's separate like mine. It could be a separate corner of your spare bedroom. It just needs to be a separate space. It also could be that you work at a certain time of day every day. Those are great cues that really help to get you into the flow of painting so you can paint faster and looser. Second type of cue is the kind that is a floating cue. That's something that precedes the event that you're trying to create. So a floating cue, an example of that would be putting on an apron before you go into work, or making a pot of coffee. Third type is appealing to your senses. So any cue that appeals to your sense of sight, sound, touch, smell, or taste is going to have a whole lot of power. So to create a routine, you need to establish cues. So cues plus routine plus reward equal habit. So to create that routine, you stack the cues. The more cues you can stack, the more effective your routine is going to be. So think about the cues that you already use, whether they're conscious or unconscious, and how you can layer some more on top of that, especially ones that appeal to your senses, so that you can create a routine. So remember, a routine is a stack of cues that you repeat over and over and over. It's not going to become a routine until you do it for about a week. It's still a little squishy until you do it about a month. So the longer you continue that routine, the more ingrained it's going to get. So think about those cues. Think about how you can stack them. The ones that I use when I get down here to get started in painting, I walk through the door, I go get water, put on a pot of decaf coffee. I come back, I put on my apron. Then while the coffee is brewing, I get out my sketchbook and I look at what I might want to work on during that day. I sit in my chair with my freshly brewed cup of coffee and I look at the paintings that are over here hanging on the wall. That's the opposite side of the room from my chair, my favorite studio chair. And I think about what I need to do next. Then I mix paint. That paint mixing is a very meditative process for me, and it helps to eliminate those extra decisions that I might have to make during the act of painting. By the time I'm finished mixing paint, I cannot wait to get started. That's the kind of layering and routine you want to create for yourself. So I want you to make a list today. Today you have an assignment beyond just getting your 20-minute painting done. I want you to make a list of all of the cues that you already use, and then think about the ones that you can stack on top of those to help create a really solid routine. So remember, the painting challenge that we're working on this week involves making a 20 to 40-minute painting a day. It's a painting study. Remember that done is better than perfect, and all you need to do is dive in. If you want to share your painting with other people who are pursuing the challenge as well, you're going to find the link to my free Facebook group, Artwork Living, at the end of the video. I'll post it up in the caption up above on the video. But dive in and share your painting there. Donna says she's going to go for 2 20-minute paintings today because she's late. Donna, how many times have I told you there's no such thing as late? There's just done. So don't worry about starting a day late or skipping a day. Just dive in where you're at right now. One of the questions I've gotten is about starting time or needing to miss a day. That doesn't matter. Remember that the only person you're competing with is yourself. So if you can't start the challenge until Friday, no problem. Again, the link will be up here above in the description at the end of the video, but you can join the challenge at any point and start at any time during the month of September. So the videos are going to remain available during the month of September. You'll get the email prompts during that time period, so you can sign up above and continue the challenge at any point during this month that it's going to benefit you. So it doesn't have to be that you started on Monday and you finish on Friday. You can start today and finish next week. You can start on next Monday and finish. The main point is to get people over the roadblocks that are stopping them from building a consistent painting practice. You only should paint on the days that you eat, which means you need to do something every day. You can use any medium you want to. It could be oils, acrylics, watercolor, gouache, Crayola crayons. One of my students posted a Crayola crayon drawing last night that was fabulous. Crayons really help unleash the playful side that you've got locked up inside of yourself. So if you're suffering from a really big roadblock right now, artist block, get a big box of 64 Crayolas and use those for the challenge, because that's going to pull in your sense of play and make it so much easier for you to get started. Mary says, I think I need to do a 20-minute painting every day for at least a year. That's not a bad idea. I like to use 20-minute paintings as a way to jumpstart the day. It's one of my cues to get going. So you can do a 20-minute study at the beginning of your painting day, and it makes it so much easier to dive in. Linda says, you're becoming my cue to painting. Good. I'm not sure I'm going to be doing Facebook Lives every day for every day, but I'm certainly going to be doing them for the next couple of weeks. Oh, thank you, Donna. That is so sweet of you. So absolutely, somebody's saying completion over perfection. That is true. I want you to remember, if you make a painting a day for 30 days, if you make a painting a day for 5 days, your chance of making a good composition or an interesting painting goes up exponentially. So the more you paint, the more better paintings you'll make. And as an extra surprise, I have a special webinar coming up on Friday, same place, same time, that's going to talk about how you can go beyond what we've talked about with the building of the habit, the painting habit. What's the next step to make those amazing paintings that you are going to fall in love with? So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be happy to answer them. If the battery on my phone runs out before we get to the last of the questions, I'll dive back in and answer those in the thread as well. So let me know if you have any other questions here. I'm going to see if I can scroll back through and catch the ones from the beginning. Let's see. Hey, Victoria, it's good to see you. I'm so skipping the gym to listen. That is dedication. Hey, Elaine, it's good to see you this morning. It's a great way to start the day, seeing all y'all's faces showing up here. And hey, Laura Bybee. And let's see. That's right, Donna. There is no late. Absolutely no late at all. Hey, Gretchen and Jane Wolf. I think I have all of the questions. And Linda, I'm so glad I'm becoming your cue to painting. And Heather, definitely. I want to post that on everybody's Facebook page. Completion over perfection. Get her done. Think of these as painting studies instead of finished paintings. They may become finished paintings, but they may not. So, yay. Fran, I'm glad that the encouragement is helping. Patricia says, I started with painting with Mary almost 2 years ago and have been painting daily since then. Patricia, that's fabulous. That is wonderful to hear. Daily painting makes such a huge difference in what you are able to accomplish. So kudos, my friend. Gina says, just the other day I was thinking about how much as a child I loved the smell of a new box of Crayolas. Run out and get one. I love those things. And one of the things they're really good for is ramping up color in your paintings. So I cannot recommend Crayolas enough. They unleash your inner child. Yeah, thanks, Donna. And let's see, how not to overdo the painting. Stick to the 20 to 40 minutes. Stop when you get to the end of that time and you won't overwork it. What overworking happens when you just keep going back into it and you don't leave it alone. So set the timer and that'll help you not overwork it. The best way to get started with oils is just to dive in a little bit, Carol. I've got a lot of articles over on my website. I'll put the link up there as well, and you can dive into those on how to get started. Tosca, I'm so glad to have you in the group. Welcome, welcome. And there's Helen George. Good to see y'all. If you have any other questions, pop them into the comments here, and I'll check back later. Right now, I want you to go do your 20 to 40 minute painting, and happy painting, everybody. Bye-bye for now.